So you have skydived, right?
Yes, I have. It was my coworker's last day, so she was gonna go, and I went between deciding whether or not I was gonna go for hours. I was either gonna go up and do an observer ride or physically jump out of the plane, and it was only at the last minute basically that I decided hey, I'm gonna do this.
Why do you skydive?
Because it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Once I did it, I had the feeling that I wanted to do it again and again, and so I've been.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of skydiving?
The landing. The landing is the best moment, I think.
Why?
Well, I work in skydiving, so in free fall I'm often donating my activity to somebody else to teach them or to take a video of somebody. So then once that's over, I deploy the parachute, and that's kind of the point of the skydive for me at that point. So that's why I've grown to like the landing.
But it's really just the thrill of the adventure. It's exciting, it's fun, it's scary. So that's why I kind of got into skydiving. And I really just like just being up in the air, and it's just nice to kind of get away from reality. And I mean, reality as in from jobs, your boyfriends, your family, all that stuff. And then you just come out and you just let loose and have fun.
How long does it take you to prepare mentally and physically?
Well, it depends. If it's the first time of the day, then it takes a little while. I usually try to do some relaxation exercises to clear my mind and try to go over the plan for the dive flow. So I know who I'm jumping with and what their role is in the jump, and check the winds.
Basically, what I like to do is do some stretching. It's a physical sport, so you could pull a muscle still. Just although you're just falling, just do some stretches, a little bit of exercise for 20 minutes. Then get geared up. So pack your parachute, and usually that takes 30 minutes for me. For some others, it's quicker. My canopy is a little bit larger, so it takes more time. And then to gear up, to put your rig on, takes me probably about a minute. And I always ask other jumpers to inspect me to make sure I have everything secure, everything set, and make sure everything looks good before I get in the plane. So I say total maybe 20 an hour, maybe 45 minutes it takes to just get on the first load, because you're packing and getting geared up. So it all depends on the jump, really. That's about the average though.
What do you need to do to be able to skydive? What's the process?
To get your license, or to go one time, or just for me?
To go.
So you have to have a ticket, and you take your ticket to the manifest window and you manifest yourself, which I always thought was kind of a funny thing to say. Anyway, you put yourself on the manifest, and then you go and put on your gear, which involves shoes, helmet, altimeter, goggles, and jumpsuit, and then of course your rig. Before you put on your rig, you should go through a gear check, so you could check step by step what all the safety equipment and make sure everything's functional. You put your gear on, you put your rig on, you go out to the plane, and you ride the plane to altitude, and then you jump out.
What do you need to do in order to be able to do this? What are necessary aspects?
Well, I think my photography background helps a lot. I did lots of photography before I started skydiving. But for skydiving, I don't know. I'm not sure what kind of prerequisites. I think having good body awareness, knowing where your limbs are and where you are in space, is something that helps in skydiving a lot.
Yeah.
Being athletic in any way probably helps.
I love the sky, baby. 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 I love the sky,
Next one will be 57.
Oh, 170 or so, maybe 179. I think.
Total, I have made 134 jumps.
I've been once.
3,000 something, 3,000 plus.
That's a lot of jumps.
It's a couple times, yeah.
I've jumped about 12,500 times.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah.
What do like friends or family think of you skydiving?
Well, they're always a little nervous.
I think they had probably the same idea as everybody else, like, you're maybe an adrenaline junkie or something like that. But when my family came and saw like the drop zone here and saw the operation, I think they realized that it's more of an established thing in the sport that people do and safer than people think.
Have you ever been on a skydive that went wrong, where something just didn't work right?
Yep.
What happened?
I dislocated this shoulder on a skydive. So in the middle of free fall, I had this arm couldn't move because it was dislocated.
Oh, well.
So that was probably the craziest skydive for me.
Yeah.
I had to land with one hand and deploy with one hand and everything.
I flew my normal landing pattern, but when I went to come in for my final approach to landing, I realized that I was actually not only coming straight down, but actually going slightly backwards, and there were some power lines right where I was headed. So I decided I didn't want to land in power lines, so I did a 180-degree turn and flew with the wind for into the next field. And then I went to turn back around to fly into the wind for my final landing, but my parachute wouldn't turn because the wind was so strong. I didn't want to make a really strong, drastic turn because doing that low to the ground can cause crash. So I just flew with the wind and landed probably going upwards of 25 to 30 miles an hour.
I had a minor malfunction when I was an early jumper, and one of my steering toggles was stuck, and so that meant I couldn't steer the parachute, and my training kicked in, and I said, well, I got a malfunction, I got to get rid of this parachute. So I chopped that away and deployed the reserve, and I landed fine. It was exciting.
I've used my reserve 7 times.
Yeah.
So that was when I used that plan B, because various things happened, with my main parachute.
I mean, out of how many jumps you've done, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I actually have a really good record, and I've been doing better and better with that. I think it's been something like 3,500 skydives since I've had to use my reserve. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm on a good streak. I
Yeah.
pack for myself.
How do you deal with the danger element of it? Just
Routines
Yeah.
help a lot. I get ready in the same way. I do all my checks in the same way each time. Get my gloves on in the same way every time. And so that routine and those ways that I have of doing those things are kind of practiced and observed from other people that are doing it successfully, or just what makes sense to me. And so I develop my way, and I do it that way every time.
There's hardly ever any deaths in skydiving, and when somebody does pass away, it's because they're doing cowboy stuff. Something that they're not supposed to be doing.
People usually are nervous.
Yeah.
But we have really good instructors. All of them are certified. Safety is our main priority. So in terms of coming to this facility, I think it's one of the better ones you can come to. Just knowing the owner, knowing the managers, and the pilots and the instructors, I know that their main goal is making sure that everyone's safe, that they're safe.
What are we all dressed up for? Tell me what's going on today.
Okay, well, we're jumping from the sky.
Jumping out of an airplane, right?
A perfectly good one, as I hear, but I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to that.
What's going on?
Hey.
What's happening here?
We're going to jump out of an airplane.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty cool.
And I'm guessing it was this guy in the middle's idea?
He is an inspiration.
Unfortunately, yeah. So, do you think this was a good idea on his part?
I've had my moments of doubt, but I think after everything, yeah, it's been a great.
It hasn't yet been after everything.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You want to look here? You want to say anything to this camera before we go do this? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Have fun, guys.
See you on the plane.
Yeah.
just can't wait.
Every time you wanna feel freedom in your life, just go skydiving, baby, go skydiving, yeah. Every time you wanna feel freedom in your life, just go skydiving, baby, go skydiving, yeah.
Spread my wings, time to fly. One step out, all it takes for me to touch the sky. So amazing, so liberating. 12,000 feet, AGL, so breathtaking. Belly down, box me now. 4 minutes of pleasure without any spark of distraction around. State of mind, euphoria, wish it could last forever. From this day on, nothing can stop us from getting back together.
Every time you wanna feel freedom in your life, just go skydiving, baby, go skydiving, yeah. Every time you wanna feel freedom in your life, just go skydiving, baby, go skydiving, yeah. I love the sky, baby. 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 I love the sky, sky, baby.
Crazy.
What'd you think of that? Kind of fun, huh?
Pretty addicting, you know? You get the adrenaline jump.
You know what we as skydivers like to see when we're bringing people into the sport? Goggle face.
Yeah, there you go. You got it good.
Oh, you got it good, huh?
Yeah.
All about, man.
You look like a skydiver.
You only get that from
Right on.
Good job, Reed.
You were going crazy.
Tell me about it. How was it?
Oh, it was awesome. Oh, not a feeling in the world can describe that. That was crazy cool. You mean not a word can describe your feeling? No, not a feeling. Not a feeling in the world can describe what I felt.
There's this moment right after free fall where everything's very loud, where you open your parachute and everything gets very quiet. You reach up and you grab the steering toggles, and you just have total control. You can go sideways or up or down, anything you want. You just fly. And it's just nothing between you and the ground but your feet.
You don't just fall out of the airplane. You actually use the air, and you can maneuver in the air relative to other people. And then when you get to a certain altitude, you launch essentially what's a small glider. So you become a one-person aircraft. And you can turn that thing and fly around. It is just, it's kind of hard to put into words, but it's more than fun.
All right.
It's a blast.
I feel like with skydiving, there's always room to be better. And I'll probably never be as good a skydiver as I want to be. We get on jump run over the drop zone, and we're getting ready to jump out. The sky's really my home after all of these jumps. So I'm just looking forward to it and excited.